Hey, good morning. Thursday, it's a little rainy. I'm sitting out in our foyer this morning, so you may hear some cars driving by, but I'm trying to move things around a little bit so it becomes stagnant where I'm at. Plus, this Sunday, we plan on having our services at least recorded back into the sanctuary, just with myself and our worship leader, Armand. And so I just figured out you're going to be seeing that now on Sundays. I figured let me just readjust what I'm doing through the week so it's not stagnant and the same thing all the time. But glad to be with you this morning. We're going to continue on in our discussion about how to live a stress-free life. And one thing that I want to start talking about today is on a spiritual aspect of things, how to make and keep friends. Hey, good morning, Joy. Hope you guys are doing okay. Hope the weather's not slowing you down. Get your kids outside, let them play and have some fun. But thanks for joining us this morning. For me, friends it's always been a big thing in my life. Probably like the majority of us, most of us, we have friends, have people we like to talk to, people we like to spend time with. But friends, we all want them. We all need them. We all need them to be on our life. They're the ones that give us the help. They're the ones that give us the encouragement that we can lean on, we can stand with when things are going difficult. They're there. But the question I guess I want to ask ourselves this morning, we'll talk about it. I think we're finishing up today or starting today, finishing up tomorrow. That's the way it is. How do we get friends and how do we keep them when you look at it from a spiritual aspect? Now, a lot of them could cross over between being spiritual and just normal, but how do we do this? There's a survey. Let me read this to you. A survey once stated that in America, the number one emotional problem that people have is loneliness. And because of the situation we're in now, the stay at home, even though they're slowly releasing that, I find probably the largest thing people struggle with is that loneliness. I've got to visit some of our people at our church, both seniors as well as middle-aged, as well as some of the young ones, and young adults, and those that live by themselves, that are single adults or whatever. You can see and hear in their voice, sometimes the loneliness, and it's difficult. I can't even begin to imagine because I have my wife and I have my two kids. But if you're living all by yourself right now in this season, how difficult that is, how lonely you can become. And when we're talking about people needing friends, it's that camaraderie, it's that unity, it's that where I can be near you, see you, talk to you face to face. It's the struggle there. And so we want to talk about that a little bit this morning. Hey, good morning, Monique. Good to see you. Trust all is well with you. Brenda Flannery, blessings to you. Hope you and Tom and the family are doing well. Carol Cordetti, blessings to you as well. I pray you have a great day. Good morning to you. But there's a book that Dale Carnegie once wrote. It's entitled How to Win Friends and Influence People. That book has been a top seller in the New York Times for well over 10 years, has sold well over between 15 and 20 million copies. So my assumption is the idea of having friends is very real, and it's very personal, and it's something that we all need. Most of us, we not only want friends, but God made us. The way He made us was we need friends. We need people in our life. When God made Adam and placed him in the Garden of Eden, as well as I, Adam was in perfect paradise. I mean, there was nothing better than where he was. But he was unhappy. There was more. He was not satisfied, and God knew he couldn't live alone. Hey, good morning, Sharon. Hope Vicky hasn't eaten all that stuff so quickly, but I hope you guys are doing good. But what was the problem there in Genesis when God created Adam? We see in Genesis chapter 2, verse 18, the Lord God said, it is not good for man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him. So there's where that concept of friendship and wanting to be with one another and helping one another really originates in one way of looking at it. When God made Adam and he said, hey, you need someone else. You need a friend. Now, granted, we understand helpmate, their soulmate, Eve being the wife. But as we go along in our life, we need these friends, these peers, these these people that are beside us. Good morning, Angel. Hope you're doing good. I'm glad I made her day, Sharon. Give her a big old hug for me. Love her. Listen, real friends don't just happen. You probably know this as well as I. They don't just happen. Real, close, personal, intimate friends, it takes time. There is an intimate type situation you have to put yourself in to develop those friendships. It's a long process to develop true lifelong friendships. And we're going to look at two components today and two more tomorrow. But I know for me, in my own life, of course, I was in the military. Well, my dad was in the Marine Corps for the first many years of my life. Then he was a pastor, so we moved around a little bit. Hey, good morning, Pastor Dan. Good to see you. Tom Nunley, good to see you. I'm gonna get a hold of you here probably later on this week, I hope, Tom. But when we look at friends, my dad was in military ministry. We bounced around. I was in the Army for a little while. In the ministry, we bounced around. So I don't have, a group of friends that I've been with my entire life that have been around me my whole life like some others have. But I do have some very close, real, important people in my life that if I were to pick up the phone today and call them, Pastor Dan, one, Butch Zimmerman. If I were to call Butch right now, if I were to pick up the phone and call him and to say, hey, man, I need to talk to you, it would be like the last 8 or so years or 9 years, whatever it is, since we've been gone from Maryland. It's as if we never left because that friendship meant something. Even in the few years that we were there, it bonded. And that's what I think is so important in friends, that you have that ability to communicate, that ability to rely on when things are good, when things are bad. So let's look at a couple of episodes, how to live a stress-free life, making and keeping friends. Number one, here's something out of Philippians chapter 2, verse 19 and 20. You need to show concern and you need to be concerned. Philippians 2, I also may be cheered when I receive good news about you. I have no one else like him who takes a genuine interest in your welfare. I want you to see right here where Paul, one main reason Paul has so many friends was the fact his genuine, authentic concern for people around him. Again, most of us may not have a whole lot of friends. I mean, I've got a lot of people that I hang around with. I have to be around people. That's my nature. That's my characteristic. If I'm not like living in this time or the season right now, I'm struggling because I'm not around people. So any opportunity I get to go find someone, man, I jump at that. But most of us, myself included, we have a lot of people we know, a lot of acquaintances. But the fact of the matter is we don't have those real, genuine, personal, close-knit group of friends that we can rely on. They're there, but it's just such a smaller group. And that when we realize that we have to have these people that we can rely on, there's concern, there's trust there that grows over time. Listen to what 1 Thessalonians chapter 2 says. We loved you so much that we were delighted to share with you not only the gospel of God, but listen to this, but our lives as well. It's not so much we want to share the gospel of God with you, the concern we have with your spiritual life, but because we wanted to know you on a personal level. That's concern. In other words, you need to get so personal, so real, so genuine. Let me say this. You need to be authentic. You need to be raw in your personality. That's one thing I am. People that really know me, I'm a straight shooter. You're gonna see the real deal. You're gonna know where my heart is. You're gonna know how I'm feeling. You're gonna know exactly what's going on because I just figure I'd rather take care of it up front and then deal with it later. Let's just get up front. Let's be honest. Let's be real about it. But authentic and honest. And this shows integrity. This shows compassion. This shows concern. But these things take time to develop. But it's worth the investment. Concern is, let me put it this way. Concern is when we are willing to share our lives, share our heart, share the aspects of our life that really no one else knows about, share our souls with one another. And really, listen, the precious commodity of time. If you're anything like me, time is extremely important, extremely valuable. I found out since we've been staying home in our church, I think it was about the 10th, 11th, 12th, somewhere there in March that we shut everything down. So it's been, quite a while. I have found myself, number one, struggling, because not being around people, but I have found myself to be more busy Not just busy stuff, but just busy reaching out to people, staying in contact with people, putting these devotions together. Still got Sundays, still have Wednesdays, other things we're doing. But I have found time to be, it would seem like Monday, Pam and I had a conversation and I said, hey, let's take care of that tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday, hasn't been done. And here I am in Thursday, still haven't got it done because time is just flying by. But a true commodity of friendship is when we're able to give another person time. Hey, I will stop and I will listen to you. There's an old saying that's true of a lot of us. Listen, this is what my dad said. This is where he got it. I don't know where he came from, but he wrote it. It goes like this. I'd rather make enemies than friends because it's a lot less troublesome. How true is that? I'd rather make enemies because there's less trouble in making enemies than with friends. Because with friends, man, you're opening yourself up to everything. But in the long run, in the investment of making friends, man, they're with you through the thick and thin. So number one, show concern. Number two, be consistent. When you want to make and keep friends, be consistent. One of Paul's closest friends was Timothy. And Timothy, I think, was quite a bit younger. Paul was more of a mentor, a helper to him, an encourager to him, teaching him along the way. Timothy was a great friend because he proved himself to Paul to be consistent, to be dependable. Proverbs chapter 17 says, a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Listen to this, dramatic pause. Ready? True friends are known when the money is gone, when the party is over, good times are gone, and only hard times seem left. When you're in a position of like the prodigal son, hey, money's gone, the party's over, I have no more stuff there's nothing else we can do. The money is out. I'm not able to take care of people anymore. Then you find out where your true, real, genuine, honest, sincere friends are. Real friends are there through the thick and the thin. Real friends are there no matter how bad it is or no matter how good it is. They are still there beside you. I mentioned Butch Zimmerman. I'm sure his wife will probably see this at one point, and I'll probably get a call from Butch at some point today if I don't call him. But listen, when we moved to Maryland, actually in the process of candidating there to be the pastor there, we showed up, the day we're supposed to get there for the interview and the candidacy and preaching and all that. We stopped at a restaurant. I only know this because I was told this. But as I was there with my family, my kids were playing in the playground or whatever it was. Pam and I were sitting there eating. It was probably McDonald's or Burger King or whatever they had there. I don't even remember. But it turns out that Butch and his wife, Debbie, were sitting there. And they were watching us and observing us. I didn't see them. I didn't recognize them. We went to church, and I saw this gentleman sitting off to my right. And he had the most, and I joke with him about this, so this is nothing that I'm putting him down. It's comical. He'll tell you this. He had the most hard face. Hey, Pastor Eldon Brown, how are you, sir? I hope you are doing quite well, my friend. It's been many, many years since I've been able to talk to you. Hope you guys are doing well. For those of you who don't know, I tell you, Pastor Brown was there a pastor in Okinawa when my family lived there. I was a young kid back then when my dad served with him for a little bit. But it's good to see you, sir. I hope all is well with you and your family. I'll tell my dad that I at least saw you on Facebook in a roundabout way today, but he's doing well. But I remember that Sunday that I preached, and I looked around the group, and I saw this gentleman sitting to my right, and he had the most stern, hard-looking face, just sitting there, his arms across, and this whole thing. He looked like he was saying, I don't like you, I think you're terrible, you're not going to be a pastor, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, no, I felt if that's what this guy feels, and look at everybody else, he seemed to be one that people talk to, I could be in trouble. Well, let me fast forward to, year and 2 years or 3 years, however long we stayed there. He turned out being my closest friend there. And Butch was one that when things got difficult, he was there. He was a confidant that I could talk to for anything. When we moved to our new home here in Cleveland, Man, he came and helped us hook up the electrical wiring. I'm telling you, we go see him from time to time. We talk periodically, but every time we communicate, it's like we picked up right where we left off. That's friendships. That's real. That's genuine. That's being consistent. Hey, good morning, Veronica. I don't know if you're home or not, but if you are, make sure you tell your 3 kids that I said hello and I love them and hope all is well, and they're playing with their stuff we got for them. But a true friend is there through the thick and the thin. I've come to recognize over the years that most men, me, you that are men, we don't really have those close friends. We just have acquaintances. We know a lot of people. We have a lot of contacts, but we don't have that real close, true, honest, genuine friend. And the main reason for that is because we're so busy. So many things, well, look at that. The lights just went off. So many things that are going on, so many things that are happening that we don't have time to focus on that. And we have to make sure we do. You see, you may say, well, I really don't need a close friend. I think I'll be okay without. Let me tell you, that's not the case. You need one. You need one. Proverbs 18 says, a man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. That's what we need. That's what I've needed. I thank God for the people I have. Like I said, I got a lot of acquaintances, a lot of friends, a lot of people I talk to, a lot of wonderful ones I get to go see. But there's a handful of people that I can contact that live throughout the nation that I've gotten to know that I would consider real, close, authentic, genuine, accountability type friends that I can go to if I'm struggling with something, if I need some mentoring, if I need someone to speak into my life on a real issue, a real struggle. I can say, listen, I need you. Or maybe it's a spiritual thing about the church I'm pastoring. Hey, I need your help. I need your godly counsel. I have those in my life, and I thank God for that. But it's important that we have someone in our life that we can rely on, and that's a real genuine friend. Let me give you a couple definitions here. There was consistency between Timothy and Paul, because someone who is consistent always behaves in the same way, the same manner, the same attitudes. They're always there. They're dependable, steadfast, firm. And no matter what's going on, they're always there. The definition, hey, good morning, Bill and Patty. The definition of consistency means thickness or something stays the same, or the way it looks or the way it appears. An example would be when you pour something from a pitcher, water, fluid, liquid, whatever, or when you're painting, you want to paint in a uniform manner where the wall looks the same from one side to the other. Consistency. That's what a friend should be in our life, where we count on them, that they're always there. And again, let me refer to Butch, because he's a name I keep mentioning, and hopefully it's okay with him. I guess I'll find out later on today. Butch has always been very consistent in my life. He's seen me at some good days, and Butch has very well seen me at some bad days. As a matter of fact, our church here in Cleveland, I shared a story a long time ago about one of my low points in life, low points in ministry, and some of the actions I did and the frustration I had. And even in that time, and how bad it seemed, how hard it was, you see, Butch was there. And without going into a whole lot of detail, maybe one day I'll share it again, but he was right there, and he's the one that said, listen, and he began to pour into me. He began to be there right next to me. You want to talk about a friend? I'm not just talking about Jesus. We know who he is, but we all need a friend. Listen, we all need a friend in our life that can speak directly to us, tell us exactly what's going on and how we can get better. You need a friend in your life. If they see you doing something off the wall, they can say, hey, no, man, that's not how it's going to work. You can't do that. But you have the confidence and the trust in them to listen to what they say. One of my closest friends is my wife, but you know that our spouses, our children, that's family. I'm talking outside of your family. I'm talking about someone that you can go to, that they are there, man, through the thick and the thin, that they're always standing beside you, always being there. You want to talk about a friend. That's what I want to speak to, which we did a little bit today, and we'll finish up tomorrow. a friend, a real friend. Hey, let me close up this morning. I just put an all call out to our church family, and for those of you who are watching, you may have not heard it yet, but you'll get a chance to. I'm encouraging you that if you did not get a letter from the church reference the transition with our pastor Scott and his wife planting a church and the process they're going through, which they've already started at, and it's going really well for them. And we need to continue to pray for them and encourage them and love on them. And even in this crazy season, they're able to get some things rolling. We do plan on having a huge celebration for them because they have been tremendous people. But if you did not get a letter unfolding the details, I've asked people to give the church a call. Make sure we have your mailing address because we want to send out details over the next few weeks about what we're doing when we plan to relaunch our services, what our plans are, what it's going to look like. I'm going to tell you now there's going to be some change. There's going to be some differences of what's going on. As a matter of fact, Sunday morning, I'm preaching on a changeless God in a changing season. A changeless God in a changing season. That's exactly where we are. But if you did not get a letter from me, from the church this past week, please call us or please contact me and give me your mailing address so we can get that information into your hands so you know what's going on as it's going on. Good morning, Alyssa. Haven't talked to you in a while. Hope you're doing well. I'll probably shoot you a text today to check on you. But that way you get the information in your hands. And when you get the letter about Scott and Pam, but you also get the information about once we open up our doors again, whenever that takes place, you'll have an idea what it's going to look like, what we're going to do, the change, so you'll be ready for that. But it's going to be different. We have some plans in motion. I'm very, very proud of our board and our leadership team here as we've been working together. Over every week, we've been getting together on Zoom every single week, just talking about collaborating, figuring things out. So when that day comes, I'm looking forward to it, man. I don't like being without people around me. That's my nature. I don't like it, but I know it's right, and we got to make sure we do things correctly. But just send me your address. Send me your mailing address if you haven't already, and that way we can make sure we get the letter to you. Hey, let me pray for you as we close out this morning. Lord, I thank you. I thank you, number one, for the friends that you have placed in my own life. Some of them are acquaintances. Some of them are closer. Some are real tight. They are the ones that I can go to when I'm in a point of stress or a point of just I need someone. Lord, I thank you for those that you placed in my life. God, I pray for the people that they consider me to be that friend to them, that I can always be there and share that timely word, that timely advice when it needs to be, God. I pray that the friends that I do have will continue to grow. Lord, that I could be there for them. They could be there for me, Lord, as we continue to grow towards one another and towards you. And Lord, we need you. We need you as our great friend. But here on earth, we also need those around us to constantly encourage and to lift us. Lord, we thank you for today. Be with us. We'll be back tomorrow to continue and keep us safe until then. In your name we pray. Hey, amen. Hey, listen, thanks for hanging out today. I also mentioned this too in the all call. Our church website has been updated. Pastor Katie has put a lot of time into it, a lot of energy. We're still working on it. You know, it's one of those constant things you're working on, but it is a much cleaner, easier to navigate website. You can check it out at firstag.us, first.us, firstag.us. And look, we love you guys. And until we talk again, God bless you. And we will see you tomorrow morning at 10. Bless you.